You know what I mean? There you go. No, I'm saying boom. So then when you extend it, boom. This is protecting you. This is right here. You know what I mean? Because look, if I throw a hook, no, I'm saying, if I'm here, boom, and you throw a hook, I'm just gonna turn. I'm just gonna turn on my shoulder. Waiting too much.
I feel I got the speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse?
Terence Crawford has been carefully studying Canelo Alvarez's style and shared how he plans to defeat him on September 13th. Meanwhile, Caleb Plant said this matchup will be exciting and full of action. He believes Canelo will be much busier with his punches than he was against John Ryder, a fight he described as slow and predictable. Plant explained that Ryder's defensive approach and low punch count made the fight cautious, which was no surprise to him. He also noted that Canelo admitted he dislikes opponents who do not fight back. Plant added that facing Crawford will be a whole different story because of his style. He expects the fight to be entertaining since Crawford is known for his speed and quick combinations.
Quickly.
It'll be a good fight. Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting fight. I think there's going to definitely be some back and forth. And a lot more punches thrown than the skull fight. I kind of honestly was expecting that with the skull fight. I heard Canelo say in an interview before he don't like to fight certain fighters because you heard him say that.
Yeah, he doesn't like fighting fighters like Skull because they don't throw punches. That's all they do. Yeah.
And knowing how Skull fights and being a Cuban, and I felt like I had seen that coming from a mile away. I didn't really expect it to be I thought he was either going to wind up catching him and stopping him, or it's going to wind up being how it went. So, but that's a stylistic matchup, you know, and it's going to be a completely different stylistic matchup between him and Bud. And I think it's going to make for an exciting fight, a good fight.
When asked if Canelo should be the favorite, Plant said it is reasonable since Canelo is bigger and Crawford is cutting weight. However, he explained that people often focus too much on size and that betting odds do not always show who will actually win. He reminded fans that he was once considered an underdog, yet still became a world champion. While he did not make a prediction, Plant said he is excited for the fight and expects a high-level showdown that could turn out to be unforgettable.
Regardless of however the fight itself plays out, I feel like the betting people will probably have Canelo as a favorite simply because Terence is moving up a couple weight classes, and people will say, "Oh, there's weight classes for a reason," and this and that. So it doesn't matter what the betting odds say, though. You know what I'm saying? I've been the underdog a couple times. Jose Uzcategui, I was the underdog. That's how I became world champion. So odds only mean so much. You know, once the bell rings, the fighters get to figure it out.
Do you think Canelo wins, or do you think Terence wins? This is my last one.
Can't say. Can't say. Don't know. I'm just, as a fan, excited to see the fight, and from the boxing knowledge that I have, which I feel like is decent, I think it's going to be a real good fight. I'm excited for it.
Furthermore, Plant noted that Terence Crawford has a habit of talking down opponents and relying heavily on his athletic ability since he has often been faster and stronger than most of his competition. He compared it to what he calls the Paul Williams or Mark Breland syndrome, where great talent can create bad habits. Crawford usually fights with a high guard, parrying and countering while letting punches land on his arms and shoulders. Plant warned that this could be risky against a true 168-pound fighter like Canelo Alvarez, whose punches carry far more impact. And he added that Crawford has rarely shown he can fight effectively on the back foot and still win without taking damage.
Terence Crawford has been getting hit flush repeatedly forever. But he has what I like to call the Paul Williams disease or the Mark Breland disease, where you've been too athletically gifted or too big for your eye. So you have built this bad habit of saying, now I'm gonna walk you down and whip your ass. Nobody has really been able to hurt Crawford. What Crawford does to walk you down and whip your ass is putting his guard up, very similar to Canelo, or he'll do this. And he would block with that hand, he'll parry, and he'll hit. Because he's just too physical. He will end up being like, bam, bam, catching your punches to throw his, and he'll walk you down. And my problem with that is you're dealing with a 168-pound Canelo who's going to hit your arms, hit your shoulders. It's going to feel different. I've never known Crawford to box off his back foot, swim without getting wet, and just outpoint you. That's not him.
Shakur Stevenson also gave his thoughts, predicting that Terence Crawford will beat Canelo Alvarez. He praised Canelo's skills and career, but believes Crawford has the right tools and versatility to win. When asked about weight, Stevenson said its importance is often blown out of proportion. He pointed out that unlike naturally big fighters such as David Benavidez, Canelo does not hold a huge size edge over Crawford. Stevenson also shared that in a talk with Bozy Ennis, they both agreed that if Canelo loses focus or underestimates Crawford, then Crawford has a real chance of scoring a stoppage.
Bud gonna cook Canelo. I think he's gonna cook him. I think, Canelo a hell of a fighter, but I think Bud just got all the tools to beat him.
You don't think the weight difference is gonna be too big of an advantage?
I think y'all make that something, in certain fights,
Boxing makes it something, not us.
like if this was like a Benavidez, he's actually a lot bigger than Bud, so that would like apply. But I feel like with Canelo, he's like physically kind of big, but like height wise, he's kind of small. So I don't think so. No.
Corey, how you got a decision to stoppage? Because Bradman and Bozy think that Bud actually might stop him.
Me and Bozy talked about that. That's crazy. Me and him got on the phone and talked about it, but I think that's possible. Like, I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I think it's a possibility if Canelo gets to acting out of line and not understanding that Bud can.
Terence Crawford, on the other hand, believes Canelo Alvarez will mix his boxing skills with pressure, trying to use his size to wear him down. Crawford admitted that Canelo is naturally the bigger man, but stressed that he is fully prepared for any style Canelo uses and is ready for every situation in the ring.
I'm expecting Canelo to be Canelo. He's the bigger man. I expect him to, box a little bit, but I also expect him, to try to walk me down and be the bigger man. So, we expect everything in there. It definitely don't matter. The odds can't fight for him, so it is what it is.
Crawford urged fans not to miss the fight on September 13th, calling it a showdown between two of the best in the sport. He described it as a high-stakes battle with one man trying to keep his throne and the other determined to take it. Crawford said the event will be nothing short of spectacular.
Because it's going to be a spectacular fight. You got two great fighters, going head-to-head, and trying to dethrone. You got one fighter trying to dethrone the other one, and you got the other one trying to, stay at the top. So, it's going to be a great fight. Both of us got a lot to lose, but a lot to gain. So, I think that's why everybody should tune in, because it's going to be a hell of a fight.
Rolando Romero said he is really hoping Terence Crawford gives Canelo Alvarez a one-sided beating. He repeated this more than once, showing how strongly he felt about it. When asked why, Romero pointed to something Canelo did in a recent fight, which he considered a big insult to the sport. Although he admitted weight differences make things tough, he explained that his support for Crawford comes from both personal feelings and his disappointment with Canelo's actions, which he called a serious disrespect to boxing.
Canelo. I hope Crawford beats the shit out of him.
Really? Yeah?
Now, I'll tell you like this, the weight division things, but I hope Crawford beats the shit.
Why do you want to see Crawford beat the ish out of Canelo?
I just hope Crawford beats the shit.
Why?
Like, Canelo, is it because of the last fight? Like you haven't been a fan of Canelo, or like why? Like, you like Crawford that much?
Took your copy.
What Canelo did on that day was disrespectful to boxing. It was just simply disrespectful to.
In another discussion, Rolando Romero said he does not view Canelo versus Crawford as a true headline fight. While he respected Canelo's skills and achievements, he argued that a matchup with David Benavidez would carry more weight. He criticized the notion that pairing a much smaller boxer against a bigger one automatically makes a fight important. For Romero, a real major event is when top fighters from the same division face each other, or when two big-name stars come together to deliver an exciting show for fans.
I don't think Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia 2 is a big fight.
I was going to ask you about that. I
don't think that's a big fight. I don't think Canelo Crawford is a big fight.
No?
I think Canelo Benavidez is a big fight.
I think that's huge.
I don't think a dude moving up 3 weight divisions to go fight a dude that's twice his size. You know, I know he looked bigger than him the other day, but I mean, obviously, you know, regardless, I don't think that that's not making a big fight.
Well, what is making a big fight? Like, how do you make a big fight?
You take the best person in one weight division, you put another person in the weight division, make a big fight, or you get two stars that are entertaining as hell and you make a big fight like that.
Still, Rolando Romero believes that if Crawford and Canelo fight, size will ultimately decide the result. He was very direct, saying that anyone who thinks Crawford can win is completely wrong. Romero emphasized that weight classes exist for a reason, and while Canelo is the naturally bigger man, he is also highly skilled. In his view, this matchup comes down to physical strength more than talent or experience, which is why he does not give Crawford a real chance of winning.
Got Canelo, we got Terence Crawford. That's going to happen in the fall. It's going to happen here in Sin City, your hometown. How do you feel about that matchup?
Anyone that thinks Crawford has a chance is a complete idiot. They have weight classes for a reason.
Too big? Too skilled?
Way too big, way too skilled. And this isn't a skill matchup. It has nothing to do with skill. It has to.
Joel Diaz made it clear that he does not believe Terence Crawford has a real chance to beat Canelo. Even though he called Crawford his favorite fighter and the best pound-for-pound boxer, he stressed that moving from 147 to 168 pounds is a huge jump. Diaz said Crawford might look good in the early rounds, but eventually the size and power difference would be too much. He pointed out that Canelo has taken solid shots from heavy hitters like Gennady Golovkin, and if he lands clean on Crawford, the impact could be devastating.
No way that Terence Crawford, being to me my favorite fighter, I mean, the best fighter pound for pound, can beat Canelo. I mean, a 147-pounder moving up to 68, I mean, he can only maybe go 2-3 rounds. Good 2-3 rounds, and then Canelo hits him and he hurts. Canelo's being hit by Triple G, the hardest hitter in the division, and never hurt him. But Canelo will hit Crawford and he.
Diaz compared the matchup to Demetrius Andrade's fight with David Benavidez, where Andrade started strong, but quickly faded once the size difference took over. He believes Crawford will face the same outcome, no matter how skilled he is. Diaz added that the fight seems more like a business move than a genuine competitive contest, with Crawford aiming for a big payday instead of meeting on equal terms.
For the fight Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade, Demetrius Andrade was a great fighter. Nobody wanted to fight him at 54. He moved to 60. Fight 1 or 2. Nobody wanted to fight him at 60. So what did he do? He moved up to 68 because there was nothing for him to fight Benavidez, a big fighter like that. I mean, look what he did in the first early round. Demetrius Andrade was in control. He was doing great. But once that weight starts kicking in, it takes over. There is no way that Crawford can beat Canelo. I mean, Turkey on the cheek. It's a big fan of Terence Crawford. He wants to give him a good payday, and simple as that. That's all it is, man.
Teddy Atlas spoke highly of Terence Crawford, calling him truly extraordinary. While he respects Canelo Alvarez as a tremendous fighter, Atlas believes Crawford possesses a rare gift that sets him apart. He highlighted Crawford's natural qualities, his timing, instincts, sharp focus, and composure under pressure. According to Atlas, Crawford's calmness isn't just about comfort. It's about perceiving and reacting to things in the ring that others simply cannot.
Others cannot.
I just think Crawford's real special. I think Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. I see it. The timing, the instinct, the eyes, the ability to be chilly cold, not just cold and calm, but chilly cold, where you can see things other people don't see and react.
Teddy Atlas spoke highly of Terence Crawford, calling him truly exceptional. While he also praised Canelo Alvarez as a great boxer, he said Crawford has special qualities that make him different. Atlas highlighted Crawford's timing instincts, sharp focus, and calmness under pressure. He explained that Crawford's composure is not just about being relaxed, but about noticing and reacting to things that most fighters simply cannot.
Personal history.
He didn't have a great performance when he moved up to 154, but he was fighting a good fighter. He was fighting a guy that fought a very difficult style at that moment, and he was fighting at a weight class that was foreign to him, and we had to give him a minute Nobody wants to give anyone a minute in this business. You're supposed to be great. You got to be great every minute. But I gave him a minute to kind of get his feet settled at a new weight class. And he still did what he had to do to win. But I still see the greatness. The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup. It's in his background, where he came.
Greg Hackett said that while he cannot point out exactly what Terence Crawford cannot do, he does not see him beating Canelo Alvarez. He explained that if Crawford believes he can win, then that is his choice, but gave Canelo a slight edge. Hackett felt that moving up to 168 pounds would force Crawford to be more careful, and that even with his speed and power, Canelo's strength at that weight could make him hesitant with his punches. Lonnie B doubted the fight would even happen, saying it might just be a way to test public interest. Still, he admitted that if it does take place, it would draw massive attention. While praising Crawford's skills, Lonnie B stressed the importance of size in boxing, arguing that a great big man usually beats a great small man, although a great small man can overcome a decent big one. In his view, Canelo is a great big man. Colbert Moton called the September showdown between Canelo and Crawford a major event, noting that Crawford is moving up 2 weight classes to challenge for the undisputed super middleweight crown. He admitted that smaller fighters often struggle when moving up, but believes Crawford still has a real chance. He saw the fight as even calling it a 50-50 matchup and said the outcome depends on who performs better on fight night. Moton added that the true winners will be the fans. Lamont Roach praised both Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford as outstanding athletes. When asked to pick a winner, he hesitated because he respects both, but admitted that Canelo's punching power worries him. Roach said Canelo's heavy shots make him concerned about how the fight could unfold.
Layout. Canelo versus Bud Crawford. I'm kind of have to put you on the spot. Who you like? Who you going with?
I like both. I'm a fan of Canelo. I'm a fan of Terence Crawford. They're both amazing fighters. Canelo's just a huge puncher, bro. It scares me a little.
Teddy Atlas also spoke about Crawford's jump to 154 pounds, saying that although the performance was not flawless, he faced a tough, skilled opponent. He noted that Crawford was still adjusting to a new weight class, which made the fight more challenging. Atlas reminded fans that people often expect boxers to always deliver perfect showings, but certain situations require patience. Even with those obstacles, Crawford did what it took to win. Teddy believes his success comes from his mindset, determination, and life experience.
Well, Terence Crawford is a great fighter, but so is Canelo. I think that, in my opinion, their IQ is similar, except Canelo doesn't get hit like Crawford gets hit. In my opinion, Canelo's a bigger man. Not that he started out as a bigger man, but he's now a bigger man. He has been hit by not only Gennady, who's one of the biggest punchers that I've ever coached and I've ever seen, but he's also been hit by Bivol, by Kovalev, who's a big puncher. You know, he's been hit by big guys. Crawford had a hard time with a 154-pounder who hit him often. So I think that no matter how much weight he puts on, no matter how smart he thinks he is or how big he thinks he is, he's going to be getting hit by a truck.
Abel Sanchez praised both Crawford and Canelo as smart and skilled fighters, but gave the edge to Canelo because of his size and defense. He noted that Canelo has taken heavy shots from dangerous opponents like Gennady Golovkin, Dmitry Bivol, and Sergey Kovalev without showing signs of weakness, proving he can handle big power. Sanchez pointed out that Crawford gets hit more often even at 154 pounds, and said that no matter how sharp he looks or how much weight he puts on, dealing with Canelo's size and strength is a completely different challenge.
Man, used to that, and I think that at the beginning, just like it was with Kell Brook and Gennady, at the beginning the speed and the talent will show in the fight. I think Canelo will lose 3 or 4 rounds at the beginning, but then once he starts pounding on him, as it's been for the last 6-7 fights of Canelo, after the 6th or 7th round, it's a sparring session for him. You know, he just throwing bombs away and not caring about what they do to him. But he's got excellent defense. Unfortunately, his feet don't move as well as I would like for him to move them, but his upper body is just unbelievable. He slips punches very well. He's got great hands. He parries very well, and he lands big shots. He may not land as many, but he lands big shots that hurt. So I think Canelo stops him, or wide decision at the end, and corner must think about Crawford's safety and health.
That wraps up today's show. What do you think about all this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.